Okay, so the last time I thought about the Nicene Creed was when I read Philip Carey's book titled Nicene Creed. So that was, I know the last time I thought of it. But he writes that to confess the faith, so our creeds are it's what takes the things we believe and then begins to shape them into a shared, public, and recognizable thought. It takes what we believe, organizes it in a way that we can then make sense in conversation with it helps us make sense, it helps us have theological conversations like this because it gives us kind of a starting point for the church.
Mm-hmm.
But then it also puts it into concrete terms so that it's not just, what I'm feeling today doesn't become orthodox teaching, because how I'm feeling about God and what I believe, it varies from day to day. It varies on my encounters with the divine. But it also varies when I encounter other Christians, other disciples, other people who are claiming the same faith. So I think that it gives us a common, I love the common language that it gives us, especially in a world where, denominations are, it feels like rather than becoming a unified body, we just continue to fracture.
Mm-hmm.
Denominationally. We just went through this in the United Methodist Church. Rather than rather than being unified, we are becoming more and more divided, which is very human of us, which I think maybe is a reason why we need these creeds, why we need the creeds, especially the Nicene Creed, because it gives us that starting point of who Christ is. And once we know who Christ is, then we can begin to really unpack what it means to be the body of Christ. I'm going to take a step.
Do you think that people, because I think it's interesting when you talk about who Christ, that the creeds help us to understand who Christ is. And I know kind of the whole history of the Nicene Creed, the controversies about that. And then I kind of think about it today and how we view Jesus. And we either view him as kind of this someone who kind of blesses our country on one end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And another one who is kind of, this is going to sound terrible, but kind of the holy community organizer on the other end. And,
yes. Yeah.
And it feels like at times we've lost sight of who Christ is. Mm-hmm. And so we don't, and it seems like maybe the creeds can be at least, especially like the Nicene Creed, can be at least be a starting point of understanding of who this person is that we kind of talk about all the time.
I think maybe, one of the antidotes to Christian nationalism would be the creeds.
Mm-hmm.
To declare Christ Lord, to confess him to be of the same essence as the Father, and not just, how does Jason put it? Like the Secretary of Afterlife Affairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Christ is present with us. Christ is present with us as we're having this conversation. Christ is present with us in worship. And I think knowing that Christ is present with us in all things that we're doing, but then also to know who Jesus is, I have to believe that if we were to take those things more seriously as people who claim this faith, that the way we interact in the world would be different, the way we interact with one another. And even I keep looking out the window because my church is right here, like the way we interact with one another when we're sitting in that sanctuary would be different. And we would be more of a foretaste of the kingdom of heaven than we're not. Now, on the other side of it, I think the creeds can help Christians also prevent Jesus from becoming, just a 2,000-year-old community organizer. I think it helps us to understand Christ's divinity alongside his humanity. Because if Jesus is not truly God, it's a new framework for the church today, but it's an oldie but a goodie, right? It reframes our relationships with one another as Christ's body. And it reminds us of our relationship with Christ and our triune God, that this is a relationship, that there is a relationship between the persons of the Trinity. We are in relationship with each of them, and we are in relationship with God. It gives us language for it. And the creeds aren't a slogan. They're our declaration of who God is. And I say that, and I understand that some traditions are non-creedal, but I've been around I've been around the church long enough to know that even there are parts of the creed for non-creedal traditions that are like, oh yeah, absolutely. This is, Christ is Lord.